Alright boys, here's a little update on the Odyssey. It's looking more and more like a finished product. Now I want to talk about the seat and the exhaust. First, let's talk about the seat. Now this is custom. I don't think I've seen anybody else do this, but the seat was completely rotted out. And it looked kind of like this motor seat. But you can see I welded these two little bars that go from here to here, and I mounted the pedestal thing for this mower seat from the mower onto there. I welded it pretty dang good on both sides and made it so it doesn't interfere with these holes, these rails. So the mower seat, there's this little lever underneath here that you can press. I only have one hand, so I can't really show you, but you press that up and then you can move the seat front or back. Right now it's in the neutral position, so you can move it up 2, maybe 3 inches up and then 2 inches back. So I mean, that it's not a ton of adjustment, but it still works better than just sitting there. Now I need to, I think, like, put a little dent into the back of this seat and then weld like a thick piece of metal so the exhaust doesn't burn through it or whatever. And I made sure to mount the seat really low as possible, which might be kind of a problem because this little thing sticks out. I'll probably need to cut that with my new plasma cutter, but it sticks pretty low so that when you're sitting on it, your legs don't interfere with the steering wheel. I'm sure the majority of the riders aren't going to be 240-pound men with big burly legs, but even me, the seat's not all the way back, but I can turn it and it doesn't make any contact with my legs, just barely. So that's great. Now this works, it's functional. It doesn't give you much back support, but it'll do the job. It's better than no seat at all. I'm not sure if the customer will want to replace the seat. Before I give it to them, I'll find another seat that doesn't have a bunch of rips in it. Now the exhaust. You can tell this baby is a big old, it's a Gold Series FMF Fatty KX or YZ250 that I've cut, welded, all that stuff. Now, why did I do that? Well, this whole thing isn't mainly like performance focused, but the exhaust, the stock exhaust here, had a few issues. Now the first one was that it's really hard to mount a muffler onto it, so it's just straight piped, and when I got this thing running it was just uber loud. Well, here's the tip of it, and it doesn't leave you a lot of room to mount a muffler to it, and so I cut that off to weld like a bung on here to slip a muffler over. But then I noticed, see that hole in there? That's where all the gas comes out. Well, there's a hole deeper in there that for the life of me I can't film because of the shadow. But there's a hole smaller than this on the inside of it that's smaller than the tip of my pinky. Now I got a pretty big pinky, but that hole in there is like 1/4 of an inch in diameter. These little like frills on the outside of here, no exhaust gases come out of that. I've already checked. All of this looks like an expansion chamber, but it's really just a heat shield. So it genuinely goes, the exhaust genuinely goes from this like 2-inch in diameter pipe, and it just all goes into 1/4 of an inch. So this thing is so darn restrictive, I just had to get rid of it. So I picked up this exhaust for, I think, 80 bucks from a guy somewhat local to me, and it was like pristine condition. It was really hard to cut it up and weld it and all that stuff, but the finished product looks great. It fits perfectly. So I sawzalled these little sections here, there, 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 and then like here or something like that. But I mean, it fits perfectly. I did all the math. The stock exhaust has a power band that goes from around 4,500 RPM all the way up to around 5,000, and then peters off around 6,000 RPM. Now the new YZ250 exhaust should start around the same 42 to 4,500 RPM, and then it'll still make power all the way up to 7,500 RPM, and then it should peter off around 8,000 to 8,500 RPM. So we're looking at about 2,500 RPM difference, which is pretty crazy. This might be wicked fast. I'm not quite sure. And then of course I have this $80 generic muffler that I cut the stinger here a bunch of times in order to bend it down almost 90 degrees. As you can see, I really need to go back and grind these off, make it perfect. I've already leaked test this thing. It's perfect. It's not leaking at all, but it does look real ugly. But we'll fix that. So then it comes down and boop, right there. Now I actually haven't like run this thing with that muffler on here, so I really want to see how it sounds. Now it looks like a mess right now, but I have it sorted out. Now we have the CDI hooked up right there. We got the power to the ignition coil. The ignition coil is grounded to the engine right there. We got the switch hooked up. Now this is reverse, so off is actually on is actually off. And then we got these which run lights. So we're just gonna tuck those under there, see if this thing runs